Hello everyone, this is Sree, also known as Sree, your friendly host for Charpi Career Podcast. And today with us, we have one of India's most renowned people in the HR fraternity. In fact, he is known as the father of HRD in India, Dr. T.B. Rao, with over 5 decades of experience, in fact, closer to 6 decades, we were just discussing. And he's had an extensive experience in consulting. He's set up HR departments in various organizations in the 70s. And sir, we are so privileged to have you here with us today. Thank you. And sir, you were speaking to the students today at this conference. I would love to know from you what is your take on how the modern workforce is shaping up? Because you've really seen it all. So, what do you think is going to happen in the next 20 years?
Well, it's a little bit difficult question to answer how it is going to shape up because we are going through such period of uncertainties. Everything seems to be in a fluid state or state of gas or in the air. Besides cloud computing, so it's very very difficult to predict how the entire workforce and the work is going to shape up. One thing is clear: the future of work is not going to be the same as what it used to be. One change we have already seen in the last 5, 6 years, and that is largely working from home or working on the computer, working without physical presence, working from anywhere. And as a result, I think people are doing multiple tasks. People have become more conscious of their own personal health and hygiene, responsibilities at home. At least in our country, the meaning of the family has changed, trends have changed. But at the same time, ironically, I think we are paying less and less attention to building relationships, more and more attention to completing the tasks. I think we are becoming, while the need is to become much more relationship driven, we still are becoming a lot more uh, transactional. So, if I have to guess anything, I think the future work, unfortunately, is going to be more transactional. That is the both the it has both the positive side and negative side. Positive side is business like, negative side is humanness uh, gets to the backlog. That is what I think. Very summary. I think that's, I don't know if it makes sense, but
Absolutely, sir. It makes complete sense. And what is your take on artificial intelligence? Do you think it will replace jobs?
I'm not very sure. I have a hope. I don't have a fear. I have a hope that this will create more opportunities for people to exploit their talent, human talent. If you uh, if you sum up all the positives and negatives, it should create more and more opportunities and a totally different kind of jobs. Now, to the extent that it moves, because this artificial intelligence includes, I think, machine intelligence, it includes robotics, it includes a number of things where I think a lot of machines are going to take over the routine jobs which human beings are doing. Negative side of it is that we will therefore have less jobs, particularly routinized jobs. But the positive side of it is we have less and less of fatiguing jobs, jobs with a repetitive nature, which drains human energies. People may not realize this because the transition is going to be quite a challenging kind of the thing. So I don't know how the transition is going to be. I only wish all those who work on AI, various forms of AI, focus on the importance of the human being. The human being should be at the center of AI. Unfortunately, at this point of time, human beings are not at the center of AI, but technology is at the center of AI. So, yes, there could be some painful points which we'll have in course of time.
Sir, I loved what you said that human beings are not in the center of AI, unfortunately, sometimes with technologies. But absolutely, I mean, we need to bring the human element back. And as they say, AI will not replace your jobs. A human using AI will. So I think we need to be cognizant of that. Absolutely. Yeah. Sir, I would love to ask you something. You were the person who actually set up the first HR department in Larsen and Toubro. Yes. And today we have the L&T chief, of course, very viral comments on the 90-hour work week and staring at one's wife. And it's become a huge controversy. So, sir, what is your take on that?
Yeah, first of all, I think the HRD department in LIT was set up by me along with my colleague, who was the senior consultant at the time, Dr. Uday Parikh, who is no more. He died in the year 2010. We, I still remember the day when we put all our notes of interacting with the L&T employees together and coming up to the conclusion, the employees of L&T want a performance management system which treats people as people, which uh, makes them makes the work exciting. Happiness at work creates happiness at work, and if that will come through only when you make the job roles clear to the individual, coach the individual periodically, listen to the individual's difficulties, help the individual to solve the problems, etc. In fact, we used to quote at the time when we promoted HRD in LAD that 8 o'clock when a workman comes to catch the company bus, what are his feelings? And at 5 o'clock when he's leaving for the home, what are his feelings? Most of the time we felt at 8 o'clock he's coming reluctantly to office. Uh, I don't know what kind of a boss I have to face, what kind of work I have to face, etc., etc. Certain amount of tension. I don't say for everyone, but for most people. But at 5 o'clock, they are quite happy to go home. So I think I'm done with the day. I'm now happy to get back to the family. So we said a good HR department creates a workplace where people are happy and it transfers the 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock and 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So when they catch the bus, oh, one more exciting day I'm going to have. What kind of a great thing I'm going to have. That is the kind of a system conceptually we created. So happiness at work, which we use the term commitment building, competency building, get the person to be ready to do the job, and culture building, create an organization which is awesome. As far as the comment of the SNS is concerned, I think it is taken out of context in my view. It is quite contextual for me because I understand Larsen and Toubro. I also look at the culture of the country, not only the company, what has been happening. And I don't interpret language on the face value. I look at the intent rather than the face value. The Narayan Murthy says 70 hours, SNS says 90 hours. These today are symbolic say, chaps, today you are in a great period where you can apply your talent and make a difference to nth degree, quite unlike I think what we chaps when we started have done it. So I think work hard. I think he need not have to say that particular part of it by putting some kind of hours and things which I think rather he would have said do something innovative, do something which is close to your heart and things of the track. But that is understood. I understand he said it in a in-house town hall meeting in a particular kind of a context. So I think what came in the media was a contextless kind of a thing. So knowing LNT and knowing SNS and knowing I think whatever is happening, I think this was unwarranted in terms of the kind of discussion that took place. Maybe SMS, I mean, if we had known that it is going to be so viral, I'm sure you would have said it in a different kind of a context. For me, the essence of all this is work and life have to be integrated. You should enjoy your work. I think we should focus more on how to create happiness at work rather than measuring it by number of hours at work. For me, if you enjoy your work, you don't count hours. And if you're counting hours, then you're not enjoying work, which is a signal for the company that you need to do something more. And what we thought of in 1974. That's the way it is.
How lovely. So basically, in 1974, you set up the Human Resources Department to look at, the overall picture as to how an employee can thrive at the workplace.
Absolutely.
And I loved what you said about creating happiness at the workplace. Uh, Sir, if you could throw some light on what are the ways in which employee well-being can be prioritized? Give it that, let's not talk about the number of hours. Let's talk about how to make it a place where employees really flourish. And what is your take on employee well-being?
I have my views on it. See, one of the views I have is to care for the well-being at work by any individual. The primary responsibility of this is with the individual. Every employee should take care of himself or herself. If you don't take care and you expect the company to create an atmosphere where you can take care of your well-being, I think that is not likely to happen, because you do all kinds of things the way you like. All kinds of things means, I'm not saying any mischievous thing, but your choice of a job, your choice of the task, your feedback, the way you feel, whatever you are, the way you like. And then different people are made in different ways. Some people are very touchy, some people have thick skin, and so on. So, unless you realize what kind of person you are, what will make you happy, and you enter into a dialogue with the company, including your boss, the HR department, and other people, and work out continuously. It's not a one time, yeah, continuously mechanisms to care for your well being. uh, I think one therefore doesn't expect uh, happiness or health or individual health automatically taking place. Having said that, organizations have responsibility to have the dialogue and create conditions. I would certainly think, I think many organizations have gone out of way nowadays. I'm happy that an organization like IFCO is a cooperative organization, provides tools for walking and relaxing, gymnasia in every corner of their floors. Like that, many companies have done that. Relaxation places, yoga places, discussion places, all lot of things. So organizations should provide whatever infrastructure is possible to help people uh, to exercise and then take care of whatever multiple needs. Now, this I'm not going into details of what kind of health system should be there. There should be regular checkups. All that goes without saying. I think organizations should provide basic healthcare facilities and good coaching, coaches, uh, and other kind of things for creating the well-being. But I would still say, first responsibility is employees. You can't tell the organization it's your job to take care of my well-being and do whatever you like. I think you put have to take care of, because if you are not well, you are getting more affected. Company is getting next. That you must recognize.
Great point, sir. And I liked that you also brought back the focus on the individual and don't depend on only the company to mother you. And at the same time, the company also has a responsibility to take care of its employees and to ensure that well-being is taken care of. Sir, as you know, I am also the founder of LegalCare, and they are offering legal well-being. So, sir, just a few thoughts on that if you have, because we've interacted on that in the past.
Mind you, when I met you first, I thought you are doing a great job. What I understand you're doing is that you're offering to every corporation solutions to all legal issues. So, solution to all legal issues, you can look at, very unfortunately, today in our country, there are lots and lots of legal issues. There are issues with landlords. There are issues with marital kind of issues, issues with children, with schooling, with transport. Issues of all kinds of things which unfortunately require a lot of legal kind of help. If you are providing legal care, legal education, I think I'm sure you're not going to stop there. You would also be working with the communities, with agencies to be a lot more careful to reduce, I think, legal kind of issues. It's well. So my view is, I would strongly encourage organizations to enroll in a program like what you are offering, offer pre or whatever paid or legal kind of advisory services. In the past, we companies tried with the mental health issues. They appointed counselors, but many people felt taboo to go to a counselor. Legal care is not taboo. Although you will have some issues in the beginning, it's not tabooed and it is required everywhere. I think it has become so much a part of life. So I think it's a good thing to do, and I would strongly recommend organizations to look at and provide. This helps. This can help solve a lot of mental health problems, well-being problems.
It's actually linked.
Yeah.
Both are linked. Yeah.
In fact, I would call it a good HRD intervention. When I given freedom, I would tell HR fellows, why don't you provide mental, legal, other kind of cares? I think you should to get out together. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the plan. So bundled approach to well-being.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words.
You might also get into eventually proactive legal care, how to avoid legal issues. I think you went into the education part of it. So.
Yes, we are doing legal trainings. Like now, there are so many financial frauds. You know, they call up and they get the OTP.
Oh my God.
It's an epidemic now. So we are trying to educate on that. And if it happens, how can you get resolution in the fastest manner?
That's very important.
Yeah, because if the department which is handling the complaints knows that you know the legal steps and procedures, it's always going to be easier rather than, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So we are trying to do some education on that, sir. Sir, going back to your journey, if you can come up with any kind of story from your illustrious career, which you remember, it could be something funny, it could be something that you will always remember. Any story of yours.
Well, there are many stories. What kind of story would you like? About
Some fun.
well, something funny. I don't know if you consider this funny. 1976 or 7, when we introduced the HRD systems in last October, one of the things we said was do not promote people on the basis of performance appraisal. Performance appraisal only tells you data about how well an individual has done in the current job. To identify how well will he do in a future job, introduce potential appraisal, and that is through the assessment centers. This is our design. We presented this. L&T, the board bought this entire argument. They appointed a committee to implement it. So, in the process of implementation, the potential appraisal system had to be explained to all the people in L&T, particularly the GMs and DGMs. Dr. Uday Parikh and I were to go. Dr. Uday Parikh couldn't join. He had a class in IIM Ahmedabad. I was very young at the time, 1977. I was hardly 30 years old. And a junior consultant. Address top level people. So I went to take the session and started how performance appraisal is inadequate, potential appraisal is required, assessment centers have to be started. So some of the GMs stopped me. They said, Professor Rao, don't teach us all this theory. This doesn't work in Los Angeles, bro. I said, why? You must know the culture of L&T. When I studied the culture, no. In L&T, who plays golf with NM Desai matters in the promotion. So you should teach her how to do.
This I saw, sorry.
And Desai was the chairman managing director.
I see. Okay.
So NMB was sitting, he is got like AM Naik many years later. That's also brilliant. It was an L&T house. Mr. Desai was sitting on the top floor. We were having it in ground floor or first floor. They would let me proceed. So I stopped and I said, is this what you think? Yeah, there's no point you're telling all this. So I went to an MD and went up, said, hold on, I'll call an MD. They did expect that I'll go to Mr. Desai and fellow Professor Ryan. I went and called an MD. He said, they are not letting me proceed. They are saying, who plays golf with you matters in the notions. I said, with authority.
So you were so honest.
No, I'm a professor. I do my job. He said, is it what you're saying, Professor? I said, yes, I'm coming. He came to the room. He said, gentlemen, Professor came and told me that the current system of promotions, apparently you're all saying, is based on who plays golf with me. It was utter silence. They didn't expect. He said, "You are right. You're very right. That's the reason why I want the professor and team to introduce potential appraisal. Because today, those people who play golf with me, I know them only, and therefore I use the data. But tomorrow, I want that assessment centers to give me data about all the people whom I have not met. That is why potential appraisal. Now you understand? Total silence. I think the system was not. Of course, it's a different matter. L&T took another 10 years to introduce the system. It was funny because when I first data, always I was amused. I could have just go to NMD and call him to the class. And he comes to the class and straight away he says, "Gentlemen, you say who plays golf with me?" And then he says, "You are right."
You're right. I do want you to play Earth with me. How candid is that?
I don't know if that is funny, but you wanted to say it. I still remember. And I think of it, it's
How's the reaction of the people?
no, there was silence and there was nothing. I think an MB comes and says, it's not that they would have looked at it with some suspicion, but I think that, I mean, you have, see, sometimes when you don't know, you have to push the thing down the throat. It took some time. They didn't immediately implement it, but at least the ground has been laid.
Or they were all trying to understand that we should learn Wolf or something. Sir, you're also the founding person for NHRD, the National Business Resources Development Network of HR professionals. I think it's the largest body of HR professionals in India. Uh, what do you think is the signature of NHRD?
Well, I think it all depends on the kind of leaders we have. I wish we all can decide the future collectively. Like we can't fully decide the future of our country. However we want, it also becomes difficult to decide the future of an institution because there are many slips between the cup and the lip. But that doesn't mean that you should not be aspiring for it. I can tell you how I wish it to. I think HRD network already, if you ask me, we are about 25 years late. We should have been by now, like the Bangalore chapter. Every time they have a conference, they get NGOs to showcase their practices, the colleges and institutions to showcase their practices. They have not just gone to the government. I think they could ask the government to showcase. I think every sector of the society, they could ask legal people to showcase HR practices. HR is a part of life. This is, I think, which one has to recover. There is no business without people. So HR is people, people is HR. The future of HRD network has got to be focused on people in all sections of the society. It is not enough. Corporate sector is easy to manage, but last it took 40 years, even out 40 years, we are able to not able to say we are able to manage. That still we have some kind of a data. But when you look at the society at large, you look at the farming class, you look at the unorganized sector, or even in the organized sector, you look at people, people in hospitals, people in legal work, people, social workers. You look at all these professions, we have a long way to go in bringing constantly the human focus. So I expect HRD network's main job is to draw a focus of all people on people in every section to be on people.
So
And
you're
come up with
basically
innovation.
looking at, sir, expanding the scope of NHRD to beyond HR professionals and bringing in more people.
That was the original definition of HR. HR professionals are supposed to be agents of change in the rest of the society, not only in corporate sector. But we may have to create a totally new color of PF. Maybe I expect, let's say, legal profession. I think there should be a set of people, HR people, not the ones who will look at appraisal and potential appraisal, but simply look at how much the legal profession is helping people to solve their problems. For example, I'm told there are 5 crore cases pending in district courts. I don't know the statistic, what I'm told was. And if you stop taking any new cases, it takes 15 years to solve all these cases.
Yeah.
Why is it necessary? I think this is my question. It is because I think we'll probably have over judiciary, the legal system, and why should every decision be getting postponed? It will become postponement and become part of life. For example, I mean, I have personal experience. My house, almost about 15 years, have been taken away illegally by some bulls, and they were all caught. Dozen of them were caught. They were put in jail, and the case is still going on. And I think it just goes on and on. And the pile of document is clear. Everything is clear. They should have been immediately whatever symbolic punishment. Here, if we don't want to punish, you say that, oh, we excuse you. You for do sorry, mastermind man from there. But it goes on and on. I mean, what a waste of purchase money and what a waste of mental talent. So, HR, if they entered into legal profession, they would be more looking at, you would call him HR man. I think, cheap it, cheap, whatever it is. I think we have to bring humanness and bring humanness and education, humanness and health. The
Lights. So, sir, before we conclude, because we said that the human is so important, I believe that the human, uh, gets a lot of strength from their family. And you have done this extensive amount of work in the HR space. So I would love to know about your family and what makes you human.
but 12, what makes me human? Uh, that I don't know, that is for others to look at, which I certainly try my best to be human. My family is, I outgrew since 1969 by my wife. Uh, she, uh, I think the way she supports me is to totally keep me free from getting worried about any household jobs. So she takes care of everything at home, including I think at every age I have three children, a son and two daughters. So then we raise them together. But often my wife tells me that most of the time on critical points when they needed me, I was not there.
It's like every family has a complaint box.
I don't know. For example, he said that for my son's admission, I was not there. She went all in all. And that part heard the cricket bat, I was not there. We had to take. I only remember that every time I used to travel by the road in IM, and I think we were doing a rural development project in Javaja 3 years. Ravi Mathai, Uday Parikh and me, and that took me to quite frequently. Besides energy work and for, more than consultancy, this work took me. Every time I went out as I was coming, I used to uh, have a sense of fear that I hope I don't have to hear any bad news. That's the. But I think there were not many bad news. I think there's also uh, all of them. My son did his SLRI. My daughter did her engineering, top the engineering, and later went to National Institute. Also top their marketing, later joined Titan, and after that uh, when she was to have a change. She decided to manage the old memory where Jairi was. If you joined your own consulate firm, you have a situation. So I was in there. She set up the TBRS, and she heads that. And she now I say that she provides me office space and the freedom to do what I want to do. I don't do any. So she's the boss. Yeah, she boss. Absolutely. Uh, I have my son who is at Sevarai and although it is PhD of 360 feedback. He's highly talented, but he is reluctant to use his talent. I suppose this is one of the things he suffered. Like sometimes when parents are too, father is too well known, you develop your own complexes. I realize that a complexity you develop, but he more of an introvert. He works from home. He does some shows it. I have a younger daughter who did her again masters in leadership. She was with 108. In fact, she was in the early stage of 108. She was in charge of marketing. Later, Brigade Group. She has a son who is about 7 years old. She spends more time with him after educating him. And part time, she does some interviews. It helps the course report. So that is.
So all of that are joined the HR feat, which is, you can say, shows that you inspired them to join.
Both the daughters are marketing people, but they joined to HR.
Exactly. Basically, that is.
My inspiration or their necessity.
But you didn't give them the option. Bro, I think you gave them the option and they got inspired by your.
They have their. But sometimes it's convenient.
I would love to meet your daughter who set up TBRLS because I was.
Yeah, sure. Maybe next chance. Yeah, we'll see that.
Definitely. Definitely. Super. So I think that kind of brings us to the close of this amazing tete-a-tete with Dr. Kivi Rao. Such a leading luminary and such a thought leader. I was glad we could catch you for some time and also delve into a little bit of story, a little bit of personal, and then go focus on the future of work. Thank you so much, Satya.
Thank you, Shrita. Very nice. Nice interacting with you.
Thank you. Thanks, sir.